Hello and welcome back. Today we will be continuing our run here as Japan. Last episode we did a little bit of securing our future as far as resources go. Japan has a decent amount of coal, quite a lot of iron, a decent amount of chops, these sorts of things, and what it really kind of lacks, moving forward is two resources, and that's rubber and oil. While we can't use them right now, we can use them in the future, and so we did get a little bit of land in Borneo. This is going to get some oil. We got Nejd, which is going to get more oil as well, and we would have gone for Bahrain, but they're having a little bit of a bad time. And then we also took Zanzibar, which gives us more fronts as far as establishing a foothold here in sub-Saharan Africa goes, where there will be quite a lot of rubber. And as far as tech goes, we are currently going pharmaceuticals into Quinine in order to make that colonization much faster. We also just researched egalitarianism, and so what we are doing on the home front in regards to our laws is we are leapfrogging in order to get proportional taxation. We're going back to land-based taxation and then forward to proportional taxation, because a lot of the people who support per capita taxation here, they will support proportional taxation if you're on land-based taxation already, and so we're going back so we can go forwards. It's a little bit gamey. I don't like to do this as early as, from what I understand, other people like to do, but we're going to start doing it now because we have most of our laws in place and we're kind of in a good spot. We also have these gold mines coming in relatively soon, and so we're going to be in good shape. Now, if we take a look at the infamy, I think we have about 10. We have 13. Okay. And so we could declare a war. We could also sit and wait. In particular, last episode, we also worked to expand the size of our navy, because we will need a navy of about 15 in order to land Zulu, especially before we get skirmish infantry, which I'm not sure if we have. Let's take a look. Yeah, we do not yet have skirmish infantry, which is a particularly good tech, but we're not going to go out of our way to research it. In fact, it is natural spreading to us, so we're going to be getting it soon enough anyways. We're doing pretty well on the money front, but we are not going to look to increase construction right now, because once we pass land-based taxation, we're going to be in for a little bit of a bumpy ride until we can swap to proportional taxation. And so we'll just kind of be relatively chill on that front. As far as expansion goes, it is tempting to take Beijing and Shaanxi if we can. Shaanxi, notably, has an enormous amount of mineable resources, a very large population, and overall, Great Qing is a relatively soft target. You know, they have a power projection of 475. We have a power projection of, I think, around 250, 256. And so we're going to be kind of... Maybe once we get skirmish infantry, we can consider doing a war like this, especially if Great Qing already gets involved in a war. It's going to take a lot of infamy, though. In particular, I think that with the 1.2 changes and the way AI is much more aggressive, you want to be vassalizing a lot less, because it seems to be the case that man oh man, the AI likes to stick their finger in your pie, which we did have a little bit of that last episode in terms of Great Britain taking British Guinea from us in the form of a treaty ports, which is... it is what it is. It's not exactly something we're thrilled with, but it's certainly tolerable. I think we're going to continue expanding here. We're going to go after Bulungen. And we're going to go for conquer states, and we're going to try and conquer both. That's so much infamy. And notably, we have to pay quite a bit of infamy. We're going to take a little pause here. We have to pay quite a bit of infamy because we are unrecognized. If we hover over here and we take a look, we are an unrecognized major power, so we're paying plus 50% infamy, which is quite uncomfortable. We're not really close to being able to declare, a recognition war, and so unfortunately we have to tolerate this. But back to our leapfrog. Now, notably, we can't swap anything now, but once we get the armed forces, the Haimin, however it's pronounced, or the petite bourgeoisie into government, we should be able to swap up. So let's reform the government. Let's click this. And notably, we are also taking the landowners out, so we will not get negative events from them, and we will reform that way, and then we will go to proportional taxation, effectively leapfrogging over per capita taxation, which has more support, but not way more support. And so, otherwise, we would have to wait for the trade unions to become active in order to go this, and this is a kind of good thing for us here. As we consider, I think we're actually going to go after Brunei here. We're going to start damaging relations, because we can't go after Brunei. Oh, can we conquer state? Even though we just released them? Interesting. So, one thing about going into Banjar, we're going to take a save and we're going to go after Banjar. Or, actually, let's go after Pontiac. They're all so much infamy. We're going to take a save and go after Banjar, I think. Again, this is going to secure us for the future as far as oil goes. And there's a decent chance that someone sticks their finger in our pie, but we hope that they do not. For this, we will just mobilize one of our little armies and we'll send them right over. That should be more than enough. And another thing we've been focused on is solving a lot of our infrastructure problems. Discovering gold in Hokkaido is also big. Solving our infrastructure problems by building ports, because these will be pretty profitable. As we take a look at the trade routes, we have mostly productive trade routes. We have a few not productive. We might try and we will eliminate this export, the route that's not productive, but for the most part, we have productive trade routes that are using very, very few convoys with a few exceptions here. And so we've kind of spread out our trade routes to do this. We are importing a lot of arable land goods. This way our economy naturally grows more industrial oriented, and exporting tools and such in order to make them more expensive and to help ourselves grow in that way. Now, who wants a trade agreement? Liberia? Alright. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're doing an enormous volume of trade with Liberia, so we might even be able to customs union them. Yeah, we can. We do not have an obligation, nor can we bankroll them now, but this is something in the nearish future we can look for. Now, unfortunately, we do have the border with, we have the flag with the blue border around it, which is a travesty, because when we conquer countries, instead of just, inundating them with polka dots, it actually looks like a flag, which is, not very good, and is, perhaps... I'm actually deeply regretting not staying on monarchy for this reason, because I think it's really funny. We could swap back to monarchy, though, I suppose. It's not too late. If we take a look at, let's take a quick look at our journal entries. We are stomping out monarchism, so it's soon going to be too late. The path to liberalism event we do not want to fire yet. This is going to be how we get a radical in order that we can pass multiculturalism, which is extremely strong. And from farms to factories, we'll put a little pin in that. And then we will take a quick look through some of these. I believe there's one for Shinto, but I'm not seeing it here, so maybe we have already voided the event somehow. A little localization for Japan. You can change over to being Shinto from Buddhist. Alright, we're going to get ourselves a little bit of fight with the Banjar. This will be kind of nice. They have a few buildings and mostly arable land stuff. We won't have to build it ourselves. We'll probably delete this barracks once we get it, and then slap them with our handy dandy button that swaps over all the PMs, which results in way less hair tearing. Now, we are running a bit of a deficit, and this is causing interest, and this is a cause for concern, but keep in mind we have just swapped back to land-based taxation. We're trying to get onto proportional taxation, and once we get on, look at this, plus 115k. Notably, it's not just free money. You're taking more money from your pops. It's not as like ooh as it looks, but it is still pretty ooh as it were. You see this? This could just be pure polka dots. Instead, it actually looks like a flag pattern. Terrible. It is what it is. We do have a fairly robust queue. We are going to actually swap these down to the bottom, I think. Because they are taking quite a while. Let's do that. East Borneo. Now, the real problem is in these places we do have, a lot of turmoil, which is slowing down the construction. Perhaps we can let this one finish because it's almost done. And so we will otherwise try and avoid the turmoil construction because it uses up a lot more construction. As far as our strategy goes, for a lot of our places, we're trying to get every single place to have one thing they're specializing in at a pretty high rate. So for example, this place is specialized in food industries. We have it on auto expand. We're trying to push the economies of scale. Notably, Japan is a pretty good one to push the food industries for because relative to your overall size of what you got going on, you can get a ton of fish. And so it's a fairly good one. I don't think we have any fish bonuses. I think some of like the Norway and these guys up here have some, but it is what it is. And we see that Great Qing is getting a little bit of the clappy action. And so we will probably have a little bit of a consideration here whether or not we go for Beijing now. trade agreement with Great Britain is spectacular. In particular, what it will do, if we take a look here and we look at the relations tab, we have a trade agreement which is going to improve the relations with them, and so it will be a lot easier to maintain good relations. And since they often are the guy who's sticking the finger in the pie, this is going to be good for us. Now we will come in here and we will go to state actions and we will reset the PMs here, and we'll also make sure that all of these are subsidized, which they are, and then we will also come in and we will delete the barracks. Well, it looks like the barracks got deleted itself. And so now we have a little bit of a chance to perhaps go for a war. If we go for taking a Chinese state, particularly Beijing, this is going to cost a lot. And we do have good relations with China right now anyways. And so I think it's probably not the best time, but if we just we can just look at Shandong. It's going to be the same cost. It's going to be 30 infamy. I think with that, maybe we don't want to do this. And so we'll probably go for something else. Now, Sintang, it looks like this is impassable, so we can't go after Sintang. We could go after Brunei. Let's take a look at... Ooh, this is up to 11, so we're kind of almost at the spot where we can maybe deal with... Is that Great Britain occupying? That's unfortunate. We would have maybe wanted to go for Bahrain. Jabal Shammar is not the worst. We could conquer Hale. I think we can return state CB it, maybe, once we incorporate this, which I believe we're incorporating. It's not the best incorporation, but it's very cheap right now, and once they hit oil, the population will increase quite a bit. So looking forward is kind of why we're doing that. I'm tempted to go after Zululand now, but I really don't think we can land them with the 11 size navy and not having skirmish infantry. I think we'll just chill for now, because we do have a decent amount of infamy accrued, 15, and maybe by the time it starts getting low, it will be looking good. Now, why are you trying... Ooh, you're trying to preserve land-based taxation. Now, unfortunately, most of our military is no longer in the capital, because the capital moved, and so we will have to keep an eye on this. We did get a negative event for proportional taxation. We are going to keep on it, because this is going to be particularly important, but if we do not roll a positive event here, we will get off of it. So we just have a fraction of a percent. Now we could suppress the landowners. We are currently using our authority for mainly consumption taxes, but also encouraging manufacturing. I think we're going to keep in on the consumption taxes though. But this is an idea. If we suppress the landowners, that would generally be kind of good and would kind of keep this revolution at bay a little bit. Why don't we do that, actually? So we're going to take off both of these, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to suppress the landowners. We're quite upset. Generally speaking, doing this like leapfrog method where you go backwards and forwards has a net negative effect on IG approval rating, and so you won't always want to do that. The landowners do not particularly have the best things. You have minus agriculture tax income, and you have influence, which is like meh, and the investment pool contribution efficiency would be okay, except we've spent our entire first bit of this run trying to get as much off of agrarianism as possible, and so it's not very good on this front. Just taking a think here in terms of, should we go after Brunei right now? I think the answer is no. But we'll kind of try and keep it on speed 5. As far as feedback goes, it seems that people prefer playing on speed 5. This definitely causes me to make a lot more mistakes, but looks like we're going to have minus enactment chance anyways, so we're going to take the one that doesn't have a big penalty, and we're just going to come off and wait for proportional taxation. We're going to have to wait 11 months, which is okay. Not the worst, not the best, certainly. And we'll instead just kind of quickly look through and try and see. We currently, economies of scale cap is 31, so we're trying to again increase something up to level 31 in order to benefit from these economies of scale, and we're kind of doing that in a few places here. This is notably going up to 25. I think we can take it up to the full 31 here in terms of the queue. And we will maybe want to do this with food industries. This is not normally an industry that I think is worth pushing, but it's pretty good for Japan, and this one's already going to be at level 10, so why don't we just put that in there and just kind of get things in position. Stamp out monarchism is going to fire soon. and we get pharmaceuticals. Once we get Quinine, we will be much, much faster on the colonization front, which will be quite nice. And we might even put in on Hero or somewhere in here. Taking Congo is also a decent look. Let's see if we have can declare another interest. We can, so we'll declare it here. And then eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where should our thing go? We'll put another one here, and we get stamp out. We get the last monarchist. We're gonna put them behind us. And maybe that, ooh, looks like that made them a lot happier, so that's going to be good. It's going to make it a little bit easier to pass our law without having a little bit of a rev. I think that Austria is damaging relations. We don't like that. We're going to improve relations with them. We're going to also take a look at France. We are improving relations with them. Now, we do have protective form of Great Britain, and perhaps defensive pact would be nice, but can't quite swing that at this point. Now, we do have a few government administrations in the queue. If I'm not mistaken, it's because we wanted to increase education. Yeah, it is. Netherlands signs with Pontiac. So what's going on here? Okay. The Brave Engineer. I think I can. Let's choose that. And they want to annex Trugal states and the Rev Trugal states. What is this? Bahrain and British Trugal Coast. That is unfortunate that Britain has taken that. Otherwise, us taking it would be quite nice, but this is the highest province, the Trucal States, or the Trucal Coast, which is all of this, is the highest oil province in the game at 80 oil at max. I think we're going to go after Zulu here, so we're going to see... Oh, we're going to start damaging relations. Can't have that. We're going to see who all we're damaging relations with. A few people. I hope they're not improving relations with us. They are. Which is going to leave us in a spot where we actually won't be able to, at any point. We've had this happen before in a run. Maybe we should have been a little bit better about it. It's unfortunately going to be impossible for us to get in here. Without... Damn. This is unfortunate. This bricks our plan a little bit. Because as far as my experience goes... They will continue to improve relations with constantly. So you could expel diplomats, which would increase infamy by 10, but this just isn't worth it, I don't think. Well, it's getting into Transvaal is extremely valuable. That's really unfortunate. And so let's just take a quick look. We're going to look at strategic regions. So they have an interest in South Africa. If we declare a war in another place that Zulu has an interest... we notably would be able to decrease our relations with them. Doesn't look like they have an interest in Zanj, and it doesn't look like they have an interest in the Congo, which is really unfortunate. Now, Venezuela has a decent amount of territory as well. They are genial. I don't think... Well, maybe we could vassalize them. I don't think we can fight Spain, though. Can we vassalize New Granada? This would be a lot... infamy. I don't think we're quite strong enough. We could certainly build up the strength, but I think that we're just going to keep chilling for now. Just keep cruising and try and get onto proportional taxation before we make any really committal move or any large move. I suppose we could just conquer Sambas here. This is perhaps a fine play. We're going to take a little bit of a save here. I've been developing my thoughts, and I think that the thing that's probably the most obtuse and bad for new players is that the diplomatic plays, the entire mechanic, is just very opaque. And it makes it like you do not have, when we have this here, we don't have a good idea of what's going to happen, nor do we have an ability to interact in a substantive way with preventing people from joining. I was really a big fan of, their country's ability to guarantee in like previous or other games of Paradox, where you could guarantee a country, and this is often what the AI would do, and they would guarantee, like, the UK would like guarantee Sambas, and this would be an access and just less random joining, I think, as well. Man, really unfortunate. We needed to be making relations worse with them just from the start. It looks like we're going to get this war to pop off. They are minus 62 somehow because they're in bankruptcy, so they're very likely to back down. Normally, there's this new plus 50 malice. They would be annexed in 1.2, which makes it so that often you have to fight the war. We might still have to fight it. And we do. But notably, this is in a portion of Borneo which can get gold, and so this is going to be quite good. We're just going to land with our 10 stack here and just send that out. And that'll be quite nice. Alright. I really want them to not be helping relations. If we could actually declare war on Portugal for, like... Let's see. Does Portugal... So lower Mox. We could maybe try and conquer this in order to damage our relations with Zulu. And this is something we could do. But, okay. We successfully get them. This might be what we have to do. So, this is going to be 25 infamy to do this, though. Yikes. That is unfortunate. That is a little bit... That is quite a bit. That is not a small amount of infamy. We're about to nat spread some stuff. As soon as we... Let's actually take a pause, and we're going to try and do proportional taxation again. Probably should have recorded what day it was, and just tried to get it in a little bit faster. This is going to really allow us to pop off. You know, I'm predicting we're going to probably ramp up to maybe 500 construction after we get it, and then after that, mainly try and push this university to level 51. That way we really benefit. And so, kind of in the short, medium term, what we are going to work towards is we are going to want to work towards dialectics, I think, to make use of the fact that we are going to be increasing the university size. There's a few other things we could go for. We could go for central archives. We do have a lot of government administration centers. This would be nice. Central banking would allow us to expand our customs union. As far as production tech goes, I think we're just going to wait and let the rest of the tier 2 techs natural spread to us. As far as military goes, once we have general staff, I think we're just kind of chill until we get into the tier 3 techs. The textile mills in East Borneo have seen an increase in workplace... We will do this one for now. In particular, we would rather keep the landowners from going to -10. And the trade unionist is not an important group at this current point because they are below 5%, although they do have the best bonuses. But right now we're trying to get on a proportional taxation, and so this will help a little bit. Now, as we were talking about with the tech, you know, after we get general staff, we're kind of gonna switch. Although we could go triage. Triage would be okay. But I think that we're going to just kind of turn back towards, you know, some tier 2 techs and try and pick some up that are going to be good. You know, central banking, we do have a decent amount of gold, and this does give minting. And so this is going to be decent. So would dynamite, but dynamite's tier 3. And so maybe we want to go central banking after this, because it would also allow us to work on expanding the customs union, which is something we're interested in. Very nice. We're going to get some enactment chance after this. We're choosing that version of the event. And we are decaying our infamy quite a bit here. I'm thinking that Transvaal is so valuable that we want to do this. Also, notably, when we take Marques, we will... So, first of all, this does have 40 coal, which is quite nice relative to, you know... the 62 coal is not the best, but we can go from Marques right into Transvaal, this is what we really want. We really want Transvaal Orange, and this will also give us more surface area with which to colonize, and so I think this is actually a decent look. Normally, I mean, it's a little bit unconventional. I haven't, you know, tried to go into Portugal like this before, but we're just going to get bricked up here, and we really want to get into South Africa in order to get a lot of money, because first you get the money, and then you get the power, and then you get the construction. Victoria, 3 players only want one thing, and it's fucking construction. So we will try and move in that direction. We'll take the paper throughput. Agrarian Party wins. We will take a look at reforms, and we will keep in mind that we do have to keep the military guys in government. But we're going to see who all supports this. The armed forces, the agrarian guys, and the petite bourgeoisie all support it. So if we could get... This would be the best for passing it, because the armed forces and the Hyman, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, are both in here. The petite bourgeoisie is pretty small, so they're not going to be too good, so we're going to just do this for now. We are now running quite a hefty negative authority because this guy was a little bit better, so we're going to stop suppressing the landowners in order to take care of that. Not too bad. We do see we're at plus 18 on the queue, so we're going to try and take a look at something we can do. We are moving towards 36 here. We're going to swap those over. And if we swap these over, we'll just have to keep in mind that we cannot immediately fight Portugal. And this, of course, will cause a shortage of shoots, which we will promptly import from a couple people. All is fine. I think that having a domestic ammo supply is valuable, but it is not the be-all end-all, so kind of this was the way we look at things. And we're just coming in here and we are looking to see what industries can be built up. Notably, this place has a shipyards bonus, so we're just going to attack on a couple shipyards. They are making money. We are kind of expanding some stuff. Let's just do a couple. And then we have 31 here on that. We could 31 the Arts Academy, but I think we're going to push the glass. We don't really want to push the Arts Academy. Ooh, I forgot, or I did not realize. We got crystal glass. So that's also going to be nice. Now, let's take a quick look at our, through our PMs and just try and see if we're missing anything. We're not going to swap to the labor-saving PMs in general. Because they're just not very profitable for us because we have an enormous amount of labor. The Mosque of Jinne is coming in clutch, giving 20% education access. Why is it just 20? Did we incorporate it like dum-dums? No, we did not. It should be giving us 22. It is giving us 22. Very good. Because it benefits from the colonial exploitation thing. Faith and reason. We're gonna piss off the Buddhist monks. Sorry, guys. But, and we're gonna start swapping over to nitroglycerin in more spots as well. Now, this is not profitable, but we're gonna take a look where we have the tallest nitroglycerin. I think it's Shukogu or Chubu. Ooh, this one's uncomfortable. We're gonna take this, but this is going to hurt a lot in that regard there. And I believe it is Chubu that we have these, and we're going to add 5. And so Chubu's going to have quite a lot of stuff going. I believe this is our tallest chem plant, and so we are going to try and make the booms profitable. In fact, we will also just move a couple of these to the front of the queue, and we see we are kind of suffering a little bit in terms of some of these. So we will move some of these to the back here that are not close to being finished, and we'll let the other ones finish because they do have construction malices. Again, trying to play quickly here instead of perhaps playing absolutely perfectly. We are letting the infamy decay because we do want to declare the war on Portugal, and we do have to wait a little bit for this PM malice to wind down because it does take a whole year. We're going to add a little bit of military, and we're going to take a look. Now, what are we running shortages of? We'll check in a second. But in general, we're going to want to add barracks in the capital, and we see... Oh, well, these will be suffering the max penalty for a little bit. But these will not be. We take a look here. We have just the 29, so we can actually start this play if we want. I think it's quite expensive, but we'll take a save and we'll try for it. Expensive in terms of infamy. No, we'll wait until it doesn't kick us over 25. Since this will be important. We're going to take a look at our navy. We're going to recruit an admiral because it looks like ours died. We'll take this boyo. We'll promote him. And we're going to take a look at their navy compared to ours. They have 9 flotillas. We should be able to land them. Get in there on marks. Now, ooh, we were running a shortage of what? Of the boom booms. Ooh, by quite a bit. So we're going to swap some of these back, actually. We're going to swap these back to manual drilling. Got a little eager. Got a little ahead of ourselves. That's okay. Quinine is particularly good. Now, what are we researching now? Central banking. This seems fine. Dialectics is not spreading to us, which is fantastic. And Quinine is going to make these absolutely pop off. And we notably can also start colonies over here. So we're going to start one here. Just to try and, you know, ooh, looks like the enemy, it doesn't yet have malaria prevention, but they are in here with Quinine. And what was the infamy here? So we need to have 1.2 or less. Or less than 1.2. Once we get to that point, we will take a little bit of a save, and we'll try and go after Portugal here. We're going to take a save, and we're going to say, give us that territory and war reps if you don't give it to us immediately. And we are doing this mainly to get into Transvaal here. Ooh, we do have a front with them, which is going to be nice. We're still going to land it from behind, but this will help out quite a bit. Are hurting on the convoy front, so we're going to come over here, and we are going to continue to try and solve these problems with convoys. We're going to make convoys and war. That's the one. Oh, we did get our government administrations up, so we're going to increase the institution of both colonial affairs and education, which might run us malice, not quite. Echoes of the revolutions. Ooh, this is a nice event. Let's hear what they have to say. We're more than happy to get a radical. And hopefully we get proportional taxation soon here, but we'll see. Once we get that, we will really be able to pop off and go up to 500-ish construction and try and build our level 51 uni. Both of these things combined. In preparation for this, what we're actually going to do is we're going to come in here and try and get some of these iron mines up to level 31 as well. So we're going to start with, let's just max out Shikoku. And we will build a port at the front of the queue for them, and we will unpause and just keep going. And let's take a look here where we have chem plants, and we're going to add a few more at the front of the queue because we do want to turn on all the explosives. Oop, we forgot to put in the war reparations. This is okay, just a happy little accident. And we'll take a landing with the other guy. We will hope actually, let's not play the little hope game. Let's recruit a guy. And this is an admiral. Oh, this guy's not worse, because normally it's kind of a little bit hard to find the IG that you want. But we're going to recruit a general. Not the Arabia HQ. We do have to delete. And we're going to just keep this guy at home. And we're going to delete whichever barracks we have here. And because I like multiples of 20, we're going to add another barracks here. Or sorry, multiples of 5. Hopefully we get a lucky tick here on proportional taxation. We'll see. Oop, looks like we are getting wrecked by Portugal over there, but we are getting in on the front here. And so we're going to quickly make short work of this over here. And then after we do that, we will kind of try and land their capital. In fact, let's just land their capital now and try and enforce on them faster with our remaining guy. We don't have anyone defending at home, but we will move one of these guys over when they finish up attacking here. So we're going to move this 10 stack. Once the battle's done, we're going to have them stand by, which is going to send them back to the Japan HQ in order to defend. We could land this, but we're not too concerned with this. We're more than happy to let it go. And these are about to finish, these chem plants, and so what we are going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to turn on the boom booms in the more places, in the rooms. Because we like turning on the PMs and not forgetting, because we're talking about stuff and trying to explain stuff. Yeah, baby. We get in over there, and notably, this 20 stack is a little bit done here, so we're going to move them over here, and this should be all she wrote for Portugal here. Ooh. This is why we moved a guy back here. So we are gonna, he's 2 days away, so we can recruit another general at home, or we can just let this guy try and do the work. He has better PMs, so maybe we can push him off here. What we can do is, I believe he was pretty good at expert offensive planner, so what we could do is we could just promote him as well. which is going to give him more units, and he should be able to stomp out this out. This is, of course, why we wanted to have someone back defending. But we fully occupied them. They haven't fully occupied us. They're not going to. They're not close to it. And so we're going to pick this up. We're going to get another colonization spot in order to expand, and we're going to get in on Transvaal. Now, why are we not making progress here? I have a feeling it's because we're illegitimate. So we can do a couple things. We can try and reform to something more legitimate, like this. Or we can just decrease taxes for a little bit, and now this will make progress. And if we continue to not see any, so one of the problems is the cost here. Patriotic taxation. We just want as much raw enactment chance as we can. Okay, it's 10% enactment chance either way. What are we getting here? Political movement support of the enemy. So we're just going to take this, and we're going to take the loyalist. And so now we have a little bit of an inflection point, or a little bit of a choice here. We could do this, which will give us a much more, legitimate government, but it'll take out the armed forces who in particular do support this. So we will have a 10% less on enacting proportional taxation, or, we can continue along the way we're going. Not sure what we want to do exactly, but we do conquer Macays. It's a little unfortunate that we could have also gotten war reps from them pretty comfortably. We're going to add a couple of these because we are starting to suffer this penalty. We'll put a couple at the front and a couple in the back, you know what I'm saying. And we will now we can go into Transvaal. What happened to our damaged relations? I hate how this just comes off and disappears sometimes, but he's antagonistic now, which is going to be good for us. Let's come in and swap over these PMs as well. So we're going to come in here, state actions, reset PMs. We're going to reset the PMs here, and we're also going to establish colony here and here off the back of this territory, which is quite nice because more surface area, no problems. No, more surface area does not mean no problems. Russia wants a defensive pact. This is a little bit interesting. I think Russia's probably who we're going to have to fight in order to get recognition. So we're going to say no and continue to try and orient ourselves towards being positive with Great Britain. We're going to try and improve relations with them. We're going to take a look and see if we can improve relations with Austria and them. I'm not sure why our damaged relations with them. Russia wants us to enter their customs union. I don't think we want this. It is tempting. Let's check their average SOL. If their average SOL is lower than ours, we could sap off pops from them. It is. But we don't have multiculturalism. We might want to create our own market. So we're just going to come off this for now. We're going to take a look at what we're researching. It is central banking. I think after this we might... Well, dialectics is going to NAT spread to us. So what do we want? We would make good use of central archives. Other people seem to insist that modern sewage is extremely good. It would be quite good for us because we have high population. So why don't we put this in? And then this. And we are probably just going to wait until we can go after Transvaal in terms of the infamy. And this is going to secure us an enormous amount of raw ore pretty cheaply, and also gold mines pretty cheaply. Now, education has been increased to level 2. So now we do have an enormous amount of education access total. We're getting 20% here, and we're getting another 22% from the Mosque of Genève over here, which is just an outstanding building. Really insane. We have 39 in the construction queue, so I think we're okay for now in terms of where stuff is being built, but let's just take a quick look. We are trying to go after 31 economies of scale, and this is kind of like important as terms of like the mid-game transition, although soon I'm thinking we will want to just make a bit of a push for shift work. And perhaps we want to do this after Central Archives, where we will just pick up the remaining Tier 2 techs. Chem bleaching will not spread to us by then, and then go into shift work here in order to get a 51 max economies of scale throughput bonus, and then dynamite because we have a lot of gold and we have a lot of boom booms. We have a lot of mines. We're very mine oriented, and we're looking to get the gold out of Transvaal and Oranhe. We have the gold in Hokkaido, and we have the gold in here potentially. We do have the gold in here. We're in fact going to expand the gold in there. Now, do you have a port? And do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man who lives on Brewery Lane? Now, what is your PM that is different? They have a different shipyard PM, so we'll leave them to that. We do not want to get minus... We are more than happy to get this. Very, very happy. Once you get the really bad, the minus 10% tax, then the next one's only minus 4% tax. And now we have this 43%. We could even think about floating extra authority, but we really don't like being in debt. And so you notice our investment pool is absolutely massive. We're very desperate to expand construction, despite the fact that, you know, we're losing money. And so once we get proportional taxation, we will be able to pop off in this regard. Let's check the infamy. We're at 13 infamy, and we'll see what it takes to annex Transvaal. And normally we want to annex Transvaal straight up. It seems that great powers really want to stick their finger in your pie. In the particular case of, well, we have to damage relations with them. So maybe we go after Brunei, but it looks like Brunei is getting clapped, yeah, by the Netherlands. And so that's unfortunate. They normally have a good amount of gold. And so we'll have to find a different spot to expand. War profiteering, that sounds like a good time to me. We will tell them to kick rocks. Now, we could go after Jabal Shamar. I would want to go after Bahrain, but it's only half of Bahrain, and I'm a little bit nervous about Great Britain just using the return state CB on us here. So we could go after Jabal Shamar. We could also just try and customs union them, give them the slow reach around version. We could try and customs union these guys. We can't bankroll them yet, but we are researching central banking right now, which will allow us to bankroll people. Looks like we're doing a good job cutting off Portugal too here. We're going to get a good amount of rubber, and hopefully we get proportional taxation. We get the Conservative Party and the Progressive Party. Let's take a look at what we've done to ourselves here. Interesting. Still the Free Trade Party, still have this market liberal guy, and this is illegitimate, so we're going to take a look at doing this. I know that this is going to generate some radicals right now, but I really want to just keep doing the progress towards proportional taxation. More than happy to get a trade agreement with France. This makes it less likely that long term they want to stick their finger in our pie, because we have this positive thing from this. So when we declare war where they have an interest in the region and we get negative relations, it won't tank us down into like negative territory. We do have this little colony here. Hopefully we don't get cut off and we can continue to expand here. Really just waiting on this proportional taxation here, though. Once this comes in, we'll go to 500 construction. We have an enormous amount of investment pool just waiting to be utilized. But we really don't want to run up enormous debt. We're already paying 17k of interest, and this is increasing. Now, we get chem bleaching, and our people want only one thing, because it's fucking, and it's fucking glass. If we take a look here, or we can go to the population tab, and we can go to charts, and we can go and say show more, and we'll see the Japanese people have an obsession with, oh, they don't anymore. They used to have an obsession with porcelain, and now they don't, it seems. Hopefully we get a lucky tick here. We are about to get our tick on proportional taxation. Let's go, baby. It's not a bad one, so we will acquiesce to their demands. We do have a bunch of rubber in. We will kill their momentum, I guess. And we will see what our election brings us. Alright, we have a free government reform. The Free Trade Party kind of, we would want to have them in government. The problem is the Free Trade Party generally opposes what we want to do. So we're going to actually keep this unacceptable government here. We are just trying to get the proportional taxation through, and then we will swap up the government to something a bit more legitimate. This is also notably a reason to go after Beijing, or do the Beijing expansion route, because this does give you authority and legitimacy from including the head of state and government. Which would be quite nice here, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Now let's check our authority. We're probably going to take a save, and we're going to go after Transvaal here. 28. Wowza. Wowza. We are going to wait a little bit and look to decay the infamy a little bit more. We're just going for full annexing instead of puppeting. I'm not entirely sure this is 100% optimal, but it seems to be that in 1.2, if you have unrecognized countries as your subjects, man oh man, great powers love to join to take their territory against you. And so I think that in general, it's not the best strategy to kind of be running this. Are you still in the... Yeah, you're still a tributary here. Alright. Now we could go after a Pontiac here. Smooth bores, let's see if it's profitable. I think smoothbores often is, oh, well, it's not right now, so we're gonna have to wait for that to be eventually profitable. Now, what is the problem here? Oh, the gold mines are super slow. We're just gonna kick them to the back. I know they're kind of almost done, but we are looking to avoid the, they have a bunch of turmoil. We're looking to avoid the malices from turmoil. In terms of our own active construction, 75% of the construction is in the auto queue, so we don't have all that much, like, control. And man, do we desperately want to increase construction. Look at our investment pool is just absolutely slamming through. If we get proportional taxation, we will just be able to pop off, like, huge here. Our infamy is going down. Once it gets pretty close to 0 or to 0, we will go after Transvaal. We're doing this again because they have an enormous amount of natural resources, and this is kind of what we want. Dialectics is unlocked. We only have universities here, so we're going to switch these over. And I believe we unlocked philosophy department right away, which of course, oh no, synthesis, antithesis, thesis. I have a philosophy degree, so that's just pain for me. But we're going to go for this. And we are going to cry because we didn't get our law through. This is also one of the reasons why I think this like leapfrog backwards forwards thing where you go to land-based to through. It's just like so much extra like attempts at the law pass. It's very uncomfortable, but we're gonna keep on keeping on and just try and do it. We're at 3.5 infamy, so we're gonna be coming in pretty soon, going after Transvaal. Let's take a look in terms of, I'm gonna put one of these down in a couple of places that we're colonizing. Give them a little bit of industry, and we will also come in. We'll go into rural, and we will set it on auto expand. Although I'm thinking we won't really need this kind of done. We'll also put the fish on auto expand and the whales on auto expand. Now let's take a look. How much are we paying in subsidies? Quite a lot. So here's what we're going to do to try and decrease the subsidies. We are going to swap all these over to rail transportation. Probably should have been looking at this a little bit more actively. Maybe not all of them. Let's swap these few. Oh, certainly all the rural stuff. And what this will do is it'll raise the price of transportation. Let's just let this tick. And when the price of transportation rises, yes, this will make all the places more profitable and need a much smaller subsidy. So let's take a quick look if we can. Yeah, this price is not enormous, so we're going to continue to do that in order to bring down the price of rails. Still sitting strong at the 10K here. This is notably not profitable, but we're not worried with that. We're trying to decrease the subsidy cost. Just stuck in there, man. Has not budged. Holy hell. See, I mean, it came down slightly, but very, very slightly. Like, not even noticeable. That is crazy. Why is it so inelastic to that? We can try and increase our supply of the other things in order to also make them more profitable as well. Perhaps most of the demand is also coming from our pops and not our consumption. So we can take a look here. And why don't we just come in here and go into industry, go to motor industries and see which one has the tallest one. It is in Kansai. So we'll just add a couple and we'll put it on auto expand and we'll look to slowly get this up to 50 watt, I guess. We're getting this tick of proportional taxation coming up. This is going to be quite nice. We can check some of these. Let's take a look at trade. It's been a while since we've taken a look at trade, and we're importing it from who we can on this, but it looks like we can import from a couple more. Or just one more, I suppose. We'll take a look which are our trade routes that are not generating any revenue. I think we do not want to be doing this one, but the other ones we will keep on keeping on. Maybe we could stop importing iron. We're going to keep importing iron for now. And we are going to import, notably, a lot more dyes. We can. And we are going to come in and just kind of look at some of these and try and solve some of these. Yeah, we're going to import this from the Qing. We notably do not want our auto queue to be building as much in the ways of tea, and so by importing it, we discourage our own auto queue from building this, which will allow it to build more industrial-oriented things. So, we're just going to look sugar, same idea. Although I don't think we have any place that can build sugar directly. I do believe the rice, one of the PMs gives more sugar. I'm not 100% on this. Fruit and meat are other ones that we could also do. Oop, I clicked the wrong button. We should be fine, or we should be able to weed it out afterwards. Silk is also going to be good, but it's often you just need to import it just from China, and that's sufficient. So meat and grain and opium, I think. Meat, grain, opium. Yeah, let's do it. Meat, grain, opium. Where are you, opium? Give me that. All right. Now we'll take a look at export routes, and we notably do produce a good amount of tools, so we will want to export those generally. And we're producing a good amount of clothes, and so we'll want to do clothes as well. And we can trade quite a bit with the Qing, and hopefully this will actually make us a little bit more profitable. It will increase jobs, and we'll be taxing these people, etc. Mostly, etc. Let's have it here for a good tick here. Come on, please? Damn it. So we're going to take this. We really need to get this in. We will take a look at our infamy, though. We'll take a quick save, and we're going to go after Transvaal, and we're just going to annex those boyos up. And we will not put the gold mines in immediately, because that way we don't suffer the construction ballast. We're also going to move the 7 stack here, because this general is decent, and by moving it here, we make it so that if the front's split funny, we'll still be in okay shape. We got a bunch of iron mines finishing, so this is going to make iron from the other stuff less profitable. We see that we are still running... I mean, we can just import it. We can get a decent amount from the North Germans. I guess we'll do it. It would be nice to make it ourselves, but we're not going to go out of our way just for the tech for that. We're going from modern sewage into central archives. Hopefully this also will generally trend down our subsidy, because we won't need to put in railways for infrastructure, although the auto queues building the railroads, and we're handling a ton of infrastructure with ports. Really not know exactly why we're paying all that much for that, other than maybe we just don't have enough demand from our pops for it. I don't know. But we're just going to annex these boyos pretty quick here. We are making a little bit of money. I mean, I guess we could increase construction, but we also do not want to run... Wow. This is getting so big, this investment pool. We're just going to up it a little bit. Just the tip, you know what I mean? Oop. See, the thing is, we're really just going to crank out, but we've been getting a little bit unlucky on the proportional taxation ticks, which is a bit uncomfortable. I think we would like to switch to wealth voting as well. This is kind of the other law we would like to pass. We would also like to get onto guaranteed libs, which would require going rights of assembly, which is also going to be good. You know, we're tied up in kind of this law passing for the tax one for quite some time here, which has been quite uncomfortable. But, you know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and this sort of thing. Let's swap over the PMs with our handy-dandy PM swapping button. Shikoku, of course, is splitting some things. I think we will take this out of the construction queue. We will actually just inspect and see if there's anything in the construction queue. There is not. We will delete these barracks. And... yeah, we will just leave this to its own devices for a little bit here. They, of course, are suffering quite a bit of turmoil, which makes trying to fix stuff difficult. And we can't really decrease turmoil all that easily, unfortunately. Well, we will probably just take the enactment chance. Man, we've just been really getting hit in the face in regards to kind of our situation on that front. You know, just... can't quite get there. We did increase construction just a little bit here, up to 300, which is now going to be, man, like the investment pool is just cranking up so much, but we can't make use of it without going hard on the deficit spending. I mean, we could do that though. We could just deficit spend. Normally I think it's bad to do when you're unrecognized, but we're going to get out from under it pretty quickly once we get proportional. And, you know, your construction, a good way to think of your construction is your economic growth rate. And we've been a little bit stagnant because we haven't been able to get proportional taxation through. Are we illegitimate? No, we're not. Yeah, but this is what we can do. I mean, these guys don't have too much clout. Unfortunate. Real not fun. Okay. But we have 43 things left in the manual construction queue. Yeah, what can you do? We are going to modern sewage is going to be a little bit nice here though. I think it's less useful when you it should eliminate all of the infrastructure problems in the mainland and actually should help these ones a little bit. Gold files, no. Unfortunate. They are still have an infrastructure problem. We're not going to solve it right away because it's going to take a lot more construction to solve it. We could swap these onto cargo prioritization though, which would give us less transportation, which is kind of fine. And it will also decrease or increase the amount of infrastructure. And so this will actually put us in decent shape. And so now we're doing good. We have proportional taxation, 73%. So hopefully we get it through here and we get to absolutely crank off in the last 5 to 10 minutes here. This will be quite nice if we can do this. Our GDP has been slowly growing. I think it was about 50 million at the start of the episode, so it's almost doubled over the course of this episode, but this is nothing compared to what we get once we pass proportional. Bessemer process is nice. Let's swap it over instead of just talking about it, which is kind of something I've been doing quite a bit too much. But now, yes, let's go, baby. So we take a look here. We're making a solid amount of money. But we are going to look to drain that all down, basically. And so we will come in and we will just go up to 500 construction. So we will do this. We will... And then something like this. And we'll see how it feels after this. Of course, iron will be very expensive. Look at that, plus 111k. What I think we might be doing here... Ooh, we could even increase taxes. I didn't even realize we decreased taxes, but okay. We're just going to up construction to about 500, and then we're going to build a level... what is this? A university in here that's going to be up to level 51. I think is what we're going to be doing after getting to 500 construction. Of course, this is going to dramatically increase our demand for iron because these are all iron frame buildings, and so iron is going to get a little bit expensive, and so we want to head that off a little bit, but we also kind of want to YOLO a bunch of construction, so, you know, it is what it is. We have a revolution to enact a racial segregation, a rev attempting. I think we will... Ooh, we can't make a more legitimate government here. This is a bit unfortunate. We would want to pass rights of assembly, and we might here. And we could also try and pass wealth voting, which I think is fine. People generally feel pretty good about it. Landowners are radicalized anyway, so let's go for wealth voting here. And the construction's cranking up. We've gone up about 87, which is a decent amount. With central archives unlocked, we'll take a look at the institutions. We can increase education. So what we will do is we'll go boop, boop. And do we have enough to go up the education ladder? Yeah, we do. And so we'll do that. And now we're up 500, and we're still making a ton of money. So what we could do is we could decrease taxes. And this might be a decent time to decrease taxes, especially because we're illegitimate. Yikes. I believe this threshold is 25% though. But we can come in and we can do this, which is going to be more legitimate. And then we can come in and do this, which is also going to be more legitimate. And this is not money directly lost because this will re-stimulate and refeed into the economy, so this will be good. And then we'll come in and we will add more construction centers. Because again, we want to get to 500 here. Ooh, we get a native uprising. I think we will be able to put that down pretty handily. We will use our small boyos. We'll put them there, and we hope that they don't split funny. We'll actually recruit a general just to make sure that we don't get a funny split. Nice. We'll send this guy over. Red rover, send this guy right over. And then we will add more construction, of course. Actually, I think we will come in, we'll go for the iron mines. We see that they're in Tuhuku. We currently are getting the 31 throughput. This is, Kanto is 21 here. So we're going to just put another, we'll get to the max throughput bonus that we can currently do in Kanto here. And then after this, after these all finish, then we will come back and do this. Unfortunately, the gold mines were depleted. And so this is a quick little bit. We are expanding the construction dramatically here. I think at the back of the queue, we will put our level 51 here. And then we will also need to source some paper. So we're actually going to do that. I think we'll just add this momentum to the Progressive Party, although we are going to be needing paper. And we'll take a look where we have the paper mills and where we have the tallest. And it's in Kansai, so we'll add 5 there. And then another 20 here, and then 5 more in Kansai. And let's add 7. Because these, of course, will demand quite a lot of paper, these universities, and this 35. And then we'll just... something like this. And so we have the queue pretty well sorted out. We're going to take a look at our infamy as well. We're pretty infamous. Okay. I see you. Now, we would build the iron mines, but we're kind of waiting for this to come on down, so we don't have minus 75% state construction efficiency penalty. So once this flight of iron mines finishes, which it does, of course, because it's not going to not finish. These are almost done, so we're going to finish them, but we're going to put these ports down to the bottom as well as these. And then we're going to add more construction here now that we had a bunch of iron mines finish. And we are just going to kind of spread them out. Again, trying to get to 500-ish. And notice, now we are starting to look much more vertical here on the back of this proportional taxation little push. We get this done. I'm going to take a quick look at what we can establish. We'll establish all the places we're currently establishing in. We are a little, we'll also establish there. We're a little bit faster. This one we're not, because this has regular malaria. But this is all light malaria. Or sorry, this is all regular malaria, and then in here is severe malaria, and the severe malaria is going to be a lot worse. I think Taswana might be regular malaria. No, it's so severe. Oop. We clap those boyos. These guys are next. They also have gold. We are looking to get the money in. We are switching to wealth voting. Watch us get super lucky ticks after getting super awful ticks. We're almost at 500 construction here, and we're still making a ton of money. We get wealth voting. Big nice. We're going to come over and we're going to go for rights of assembly as well. Now, hopefully that's not revving people, but we'll see. I didn't do the solid check. Now, we see that we are running a big negative, but this is fine, because we can just come in and do this. Woohoo! Okay. Notably, these are also, in large population states, swapping up the PMs on government administrations is particularly good. We are going to want to... Now, we started with 380 construction. We're going to get the... And so I think it'd be nice for us to be able to double it here today. So that in order to do that, we'd have to go to 760. And so I think we can do that in the next 5 minutes, maybe. And maybe put this 51 uni on the back burner to some degree. We have more than enough money to kind of push for this. We are draining the investment pool, but we can, you know, continue to decrease taxes a little bit. I think I want to hover on this, but instead, you know, ramp out the construction. So let's do that. It's going to be quite a bit more construction. We're seeing that we are running this little malice thing here, so we'll just come in here and we'll turn another one of these on. Hopefully we get rights of assembly, then we can go guaranteed liberties. Let's take a look at our infamy. We're doing okay. We're going to take a quick little save here, I think, going on Ranhe. Because if I recall correctly, that was about 13 infamy to annex then? Was that correct? Am I imagining things? I am imagining things. It's nowhere near 13 infamy. We're going to come in here and we are going to kick stuff to the bottom of the queue if it is running a little bit of a malice, which several places are. And it will get closer to finishing these unis. Just take the 10% enacting chance. Be nice and comfortable. And we aren't quite at 760, so we will continue expanding construction. And then we're going to take a look at our trade routes and see if we can maybe get something coming in. Now, what is really not profitable? Okay, we'll leave those in place. What is really expensive? There we go. We want to sort by market price. See what's expensive. The softwood and coal. We will import softwood in a couple spots. We could import this, but I think we're going to put some boom booms at the front of the queue here. And we are going to look to export fertilizer because fertilizer is cheap. There we go. So we just need another 200 construction here. Just throwing it up all in mainland Japan. We notice again we're running a little bit of malice. This malice is bad to run, but we can just come in and swap in another filing cabinet system on over. And now we should be absolutely cranking up. Look at the line start to take a turn vertical. Rights of assembly is also going to be particularly nice. We'll have a huge bureaucratic shortfall, but what we could do is we just come in. Oh, sorry. We're going to go guaranteed libs. That's going to cause the bureaucratic shortfall. Apologies. We will put 5 of these in the back of the queue here as well. The boom booms are about to finish. Of course, we get every law passed possible when we is substantially less important. We are at 620. So we are almost there. This will almost certainly do it, right? Or we started out at 380. Oh, we need 760. Okay, well. The can't do attitude. I don't think we want to pay that for the approval. I really hate that event. It just feels very insipid. 700. Just need 50 more. That's gonna be all of that's gonna be it. That's all, folks. This has been a nice little episode. Just getting finally passing at the very end our law that was particularly useful. This revolution is not gonna fire, but it is a little spooky. Because there's so many interest groups in there, but are they mostly... Yeah, they're mostly not the strongest interest... Huh? They got a decent amount of clout. I wonder why that is just this. Probably because the support's only medium? We might have to go back to censorship. Notably, we don't want to be on censorship. We really want to be on kind of what we're at. We get guaranteed libs, so we're going to come in... And I think... We might not have enough government admins to swap over. Yeah, that is correct. So what we're going to do is in the back of the queue here, where we had put more government queue administrations, we're going to kick these to the front of the queue instead. And we get central archives. We could love bureaucracy, but we love tech even more. So we're going to do this. We just need 40 more construction. Big sad. Because we... Where is the construction center? We're gonna just put down 3 or... We're going to put down 5 in Sakhalin. Call it a day here. And notably, we're just about to the point where we are no longer making money. And this investment pool is draining really quickly. And so we are going to build a little bit of a surplus after this. And then I don't think we're going to be able to sustain this investment pool look. And so we'll drain the surplus. But hopefully by then, we will be in a reasonable spot where we are going to be overall making money. And can kind of equalize here. Because we do have to eat through not only the investment pool, but also the gold reserve. And the investment pool is huge. Road to progress. I think we will take the loyalists. And we get farm to factories. And come on. Get up to 760. Can you not employ? Did we make a horrible mistake? You can employ. You can't employ. Son of a biznozle. Well, this guy can't employ, so we gotta put it somewhere else. Do you have population here? Not really. Man, we just have no place to put these. We could put them in the Ryukyu Islands, but they don't have any peasants here. Then look at these trade centers. Yikes. There's actually just no place to slap down more of these construction centers that is incorporated. And so what we'll do is we'll come over to Nejd, I think. We'll just add one of these. These are slowly being incorporated. And they do have some turmoil, but the turmoil is coming on down. We can hopefully get up to 760 here. And we'll do that. I think that'll be enough. Industrial boom. Boost them further, bro. Come on. Give me that double. Double trouble, double construction. 750, 752. Let's go, baby. 754. Closer. Oop. Let's damage relations with these boys. This is unfortunate. We should have been damaging relations. But we will have to... So what we'll have to do is we'll have to conquer Zululand, I think. In order to damage the relations with Oranhe such that we can conquer them. That's a little unfortunate. A little bit overlooking stuff on my end. And we get shift work here, which is going to be big ups, but we got to 760 construction, so we're going to call it an episode here. What we have done this episode is we leapfrogged back to land-based taxation and then forward to proportional taxation. And this took most of the episode, but after we got that, we just doubled up construction. We're doing great. Don't pay attention to this number. That number is not real. It can't hurt you. This is fake money. We'll handle that in the future. We do have an enormous investment pool. I think we can build into this. If you take a look at the economy, it's like nearly straight vertical. We're going to be cranking off, especially because we just picked up shift work. And shift work is a very innocuous tech, but it's also a very powerful, is a very powerful tech because it increases the economies of scale building cap. And so what we'll be doing is trying to increase economies of scale, increase the size of our buildings, like let's say here. Let's find one. Let's say here, we're going to be trying to increase this tooling workshop to level 51. Notice the throughput bonus is increasing to 66% because we just researched it. And so off the back of this, we should be able to make big changes or big ups and a lot of progress. We have, double the construction. This is double the economic growth. We should be able to support this. We have, what is this? 3.5 plus 14.8 mil to crank through before we're start really getting hurt by this, and so I think we're more than fine, more than in a good spot, and I think we will be popping off pretty hard next episode. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It does help out, and have a good day. Also, if you've been sitting an extended period of time, like if you watch this cover to cover, or front to back, back to front, however you want to look at it, consider getting up and taking a walk, increasing your blood flow. Has a ton of positive health benefits, and you may have been sitting a long while. Other than that, have a good day.